Telling our stories is the connective tissue of the collective human experience. The Just Keep Talking podcast delves into the lives and stories of artists. What is the impact of mental health on creativity? What does it mean to be a creative individual? Someone who feels deeply, experiences joy and pain intensely, and navigates the challenges of life through the creative process. With each story shared, we explore the authentic experience of our basic need to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. We're really not so different from one another, nor are we alone. Together, we can inspire, encourage, and enlighten each other to find the true joy and fulfillment that is within ourselves. When we just keep talking, we create the space for gratitude, self-acceptance, and grace in everyday life. In a world filled with divisiveness, fostering inclusivity and connection is a powerful way to make a positive impact. The Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters.
And I can see all obstacles in my way. Yeah. And gone are the dark clouds that have me blind. Hey, said it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Hello and welcome to the Just Keep Talking podcast. My name is Brother Love, your host. I appreciate you tuning in. This episode is brought to you by Mr. Aaron's Goods. He's the best bagel in Nashville, Tennessee. I know things. I'm a Jewish kid from New York City. Bagels were my first job, making them, selling them. Go into Mr. Aaron's Goods in Inglewood, in East Nashville, and tell him Brother Love loves you. You may get a coffee, you may get a bagel with an extra schmear, but you're going to get a lot of love. Thanks to Mr. Aaron's Goods. My guest this week, Kyndle Wylde. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Kyndle Wylde is a Nashville-based soul Americana rock superstar. It is good to know you.
Yes.
I saw you perform at the Underdog last week.
Yes, you did.
And you are a rock, soulful Americana superstar.
Thank you.
You're so very welcome. We are together because of the Nashville Basement Stage.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
Which is incredible. Will you tell us, please, the audience, what is the Nashville Basement Stage?
Yeah, so we're actually here where it all started, I believe. Nashville Basement Stage is a patron-run organization that champions independent artists all around the town, Nashville, Tennessee, and I am so lucky to be one of those people.
Yeah.
Jeff and Sherry approached me, I don't even know, maybe about a year and a half ago, and they just saw something in me. And for independent artists, for artists of all caliber, it's so important that people see what you do and the value that you bring to the table. Yeah, it's just been great. They've supported me. They funded my entire EP release show last year, which was insane. I wouldn't have been able to do it without them, really. I'd have figured out a way, but because artists are resourceful. But it's good when you have people that are like, we want to help you. What are your goals? And that's what they do. They help us out.
They really do. They're fantastic. We partnered up. I work with Lightning 100 as well as doing this podcast, as well as being in a band called Them Vibes.
Yep.
At Lightning 100, I host a segment called Community Corner, and we spotlight nonprofits, Nashville causes. So I am on air, but I also do some sales and marketing. And so we teamed up with Nashville Basement Stage at the Living Waters Brewing Company last night. We are at the end of July. This will be out probably early August. It was Kristen Ball's singer-songwriter night, and she had phenomenal guests: Mitch Granger, Jen Bostic, and Megan Allen.
Yep.
And the show was phenomenal, and I got to see Nashville Basement Stage in its glory and its light. And I got to really meet some of the patrons, the people that help fund your career and Kristen Ball's career and others like you. Last week at the Underdog in East Nashville, you performed, and it was a Nashville Basement Stage show as well.
Yep.
You blew me away.
Thank you.
You knocked my socks right off.
Thank you.
And you're so welcome. Thank you. And, I didn't necessarily do like research to go see somebody.
Right.
Like, well, what's she up to, whenever. I just knew that I liked you, and you had a lot of great energy when Jeff Harjo, you and I sat down just to talk about building community.
Yes.
Together.
Yeah.
supporting artists.
Totally.
You know, because you and I were both artists and we always need the support.
Well, yeah, that was a great show. The Underdog is such a sick place here in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's divey. It's got a pool table. It's got like a cigarette vending machine in the back.
Yeah.
Like they put your name on these like in a really analog sort of way. Like they literally tape the letters together and put it up behind you.
Yeah.
It all just feels so like tangible, you know, which I think is important now, especially.
And you know what's really cool about the venue? First of all, the Underdog has been around for a bunch of years now.
Yeah.
And we've played there, my band, Them Vibes. They are just an incredible venue. They're a dive bar that's welcome to everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's really fantastic to have that place in East Nashville.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I love is how much they care.
They do.
The sign that was behind you while you were performing fell. Your name, Kyndle
Yes.
Wylde, fell twice, if not 3 times.
I know.
And each time the sound person walked behind and put the sign back up. And I thought, you know, that's just sweet.
It
know?
is.
You
Yeah.
have like 2 more songs. Like they already put it up once.
I know.
They put it up again.
They're like, okay.
It's Scotch tape. You know,
yeah.
that's fine. We're all put together by some form of
Right.
tape.
That's what really, just rubber bands and paper clips.
Yeah.
I had such a good time. My band, like, I usually have a keyboard player with me, and I couldn't get one that night, but it still felt like, I don't know, it still seemed appropriate and still worked. And yeah, I just love that place.
Yeah, you are an effortless talent. And by effortless, I mean you have a voice that is naturally incredible. You remind me of the old school divas. Yeah. You know, like there's been, you know, throughout time, we have Aretha Franklin and Barbara Streisand. And then in like the 80s and the 90s, we had our Whitney Houston and Celine Dion and Mariah Carey, you know. And I used to work in a music publishing sheet music store called Carl Fisher in Manhattan.
Wow.
During the 90s. And people would come in, and young girls would come in especially, and ask for a sheet music, a piece of music, piano, vocal,
Come
right?
on.
Not a number chart, an actual written out that was sold for $4.95 at the time, maybe.
Oh my God.
And they would come in for whatever the Mariah Carey song was, whatever the Tina Turner song was, whatever, you know, and they would just, Aretha Franklin, you know, they would learn these songs. And there was a time when people really were at the top of their game.
Yes.
And that's not to say that that is not happening now. We have plenty of amazing singers.
Yeah.
Like I'm a singer, but I don't sing the way you sing. You are a diva. You're a diva. You're a diva. Do you act like a diva?
Well, let me tell you, on stage, I kind of do act like a diva.
Right.
But, you know, obviously that word is like, it means a lot of things. But yeah, all those women, good Lord. That's what I love about music.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope people can get from my music is
Yeah.
that it does harken back to a time where when you fell in love with music originally, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so funny.
It's
That's awesome, though. That's such a cool, like, to get the sheet music from an artist that you love.
Well, you're a writer. Could you imagine how much money that? See, there's we talk about how there's not a lot of money in music anymore, and it's totally true. I mean, we don't make money off of Spotify.
Yeah.
We don't make money off of iTunes anymore. People aren't necessarily buying. They have to come to the live show and buy your merchandise, right? Buy your record. Buy the vinyl, buy the t-shirt, buy the hat. Just support. The patrons that are with the Nashville Basement Stage are doing exactly that. They're putting money into your pockets and alleviating the stress of being able to be an artist in Nashville right now.
Yeah, everybody who is a part of Nashville Basement Stage, artists and patrons alike, they all just love music. It really is, it's refreshing to be around people like that really are just like, you know what? Let's maintain the integrity of why we do this and what music can offer the world. Yeah. It's really great.
But could you imagine? Think about it. People were coming in to buy a piece of sheet music at $4.95. One piece of music. That's not even the whole record.
That's insane.
There was a lot of money in music back then before, you know, in the olden days, you know?
Yeah,
for sure,
I know.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about like the divas of that time, I mean, I think obviously the industry's changed a lot, and what we champion and what we prop up and what makes money and the incentives behind it, you know, I think it rewards different things now.
Oh, for sure.
Because there are certainly women and men out there, and all people alike that are doing this thing that is like what Tina Turner did.
Right.
And although they're talents of a lifetime, but there's still people that are out here doing the thing that feels like that, you know?
Absolutely. So you're from Memphis originally.
Yeah.
Are you the singer that was singing at your grandpa's church?
I was.
Are you a preacher's daughter or granddaughter? Or?
I'm a preacher's granddaughter.
Okay, so-
My father was a worship leader, but he also preached a little bit. My mom played keys. We are what we call evangelists. So we went out from my grandfather's church. We would do the morning service, and then we would go out to whatever church had asked my mom and dad to come and edify the congregation.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. And I got to be in so many different kinds of churches.
Right.
I probably have been to like 50 different churches. I mean, that may sound like not a whole lot, but it kind of is. Like, and it was all like denomination, all type of people. Like, there was tent revivals by the Save-A-Lot in Somerville, Tennessee. Just dirt on the ground. There were some conferences that we went to that were so much money. You could tell that was being put into these things. And then there were some churches where there was no electricity and the door was open at the front to let air in. And it was raining, and my mom would be up there and she would just be stomping, like singing these gospel hymns, like, and everyone was, it was so real. Yeah. It's very different from what we think of now when we think of church, you know, because I think everything has become shiny and cool in this way where people want to, project this image more than retain this quality of the spirit. And that's a very generalized statement, but I don't know. It was just like, it wasn't overthought. It wasn't like, how are we going to, produce the live stream out to people? There was no social media. It was just like grassroots gospel. It was all of that. You know?
That sounds amazing to me, because the Christian nationalism that's going on in this country takes the religion and makes it no fun at all. I mean, I'm raised Jewish. I'm not a very religious person, but I am a spiritual person.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the message of every religion. Yeah. We're all trying to love one another, hopefully, and be good to thy neighbor, and just be a better community, you know?
Yeah.
So growing up, how did you find your voice in all of that? I mean, were you a religious person that found their voice, or were you like, this is a vehicle for me because I get to do this all the time? Or you may not have even been thinking about that much at all back then.
Honestly, and I thought about this as I was coming here today, that music was never this thing that I thought was a legitimate path that you could do. It was just what I did. And I knew that at the end of the day, I was going to sing and perform and do music in some capacity, but I didn't even know, I say this all the time, that I didn't even really know how like songs were made.
Wow.
I didn't know. I just thought they happened, and I was like, oh yeah, they just exist. I didn't know that there was this artistic perspective that people were bringing to these things and creating them, and all the different moving parts of how music is made. I was very sheltered growing up. My parents, they had me when they were very young. My mom, I think she was like 18 when she had me. Yeah. She definitely was graduating high school with me in her belly. And my dad immediately got a job at the local factory, ThyssenKrupp, Dover, manufacturing elevator parts.
Wow.
And my dad did that for about 25 years. All the while, my parents are, leading worship at all these churches. Yeah. I just knew how singing made me feel. And I knew that there was this magical quality to it that I didn't have the language to really articulate what that even meant. Right. I didn't even think about it in terms of career at all. Yeah. I just knew that I loved it, and that's all it was for me, really.
That's amazing. So when did you figure it out? Was there a moment that you feel like you found your voice, or that you figured out, I'm good at this, and not necessarily, in an egotistical way?
Yeah.
What was it like? When was this time in your life? Can you remember back?
Well, in some ways, I feel like I just got it.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
what I love.
It's
You're
like,
learning.
Wow, okay, now this is what I do. This is what I plant my feet in, Yeah. But as all artists know, it's it's just one step at a time, and you know, knock down some walls and then build those walls back up to be like, okay, this is how I like to do my art.
Right.
But I think in college, once I went to college, I got into the University of Memphis on a full vocal ride scholarship.
Wow.
I graduated with no college debt.
Good for you.
And I got my degree.
Wow.
Which I, you know, at the time didn't really, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is just, you know, but I know how rare that is and how much of a blessing that is now. But I was a part of this ensemble that was a pop ensemble, essentially. And it was kind of a recruitment tool for the University of Memphis. So we'd go out to all these high schools in the Memphis area and we'd sing and perform and, you know, dance monkey and be like, everybody, this is what's available to you at the University of Memphis if you'd like. And
what were you singing?
I was singing I Want You Back. Like, I was singing Midnight Train to Georgia. I loved all soul, rock, everything, you know, with that. But I also loved Beyonce at that time. I was so obsessed with Beyonce. And she's actually really integral for me as a singer in terms of technique. I really learned so much technique from her, which is wild to say, but I really did. And then I cut my teeth there with gigging with different bands around town. The first original band that I was a part of was this acoustic trio called the Mason Jar Fireflies.
Nice.
And it was with me and my husband and this older gentleman named Greg. That was the first time that I really expressed in an original environment. That was like, we were writing songs and I was, you know, really figuring out what my voice wanted to do. So I think probably around college is when that all happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But I love that you acknowledge the fact that I just recently found my voice, because I feel the same way on so many levels of my life. It's like, because we keep evolving.
Yes.
Right? If we're doing it right, you know, the big it.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is great because you really do have it. I mean, you're one of those singers that can sing anything. I mean, it's really cool. What's it like? Because you could be sort of used and abused as far as like, let's just call Kyndle Wylde and throw her into the mix and she can do it all.
Yeah.
And look, if that was the case, I think we wouldn't be having this conversation here, but we would be having it in your penthouse because you'd be like, yes, I said yes to enough things and I charged accordingly.
Yeah.
But you're finding your way, you're finding your voice. Just because you can sing everything doesn't mean you should sing everything.
Yes. And I've had to learn that lesson so hard because one of the things, you're absolutely right. One of the things that I have sort of been able to do that I've hung my hat on is to be this chameleon in a way where I can be whatever is needed of me.
Right.
And to be an artist, that's kind of not what artists, the value that they bring to the world. You know, it's a skill. It is a skill, but you also run the risk of losing yourself or not really being able to find yourself as an artist in that ability. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse in a way. But I love when people call me to do things like sync work, you know, where I have to be a character. I love that. And I love being produced. I love when a producer is like, okay, now turn the dial a little bit more to like desperate and, you know, okay, that's great, but give a little more presence to it. And I love that, like moving the needle a little bit and finding the exact way to make a really specific emotion come through. So I do enjoy that stuff, but I'm really proud of the fact that I'm finding what it is that I do now. And I think it's working.
It is working. And thanks for acknowledging that because, you know, you say it with such ease and effortlessness.
Yeah.
Because you have the ability to just turn the dial down a little bit or turn the emotion up a little bit or get a little cooler or get a little hotter or warmer, you know, all of the things. Like I don't have that a grasp on my abilities, my prowess. And I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses and I'm fine with it. But like you're such a professional to be able to do that. And I think it's amazing. And we were talking about this off mic. One of the things that I really admire about you is that you can sing and you can sing the highest of highs with power, the highest of highs with finesse and softness. You can sing with emotion. Honestly, I mean, I really haven't seen anybody like you in a very, very long time.
Oh my God.
And maybe I don't get out much. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. totally joking. But don't sound so surprised, Kyndle.
Well, I mean, I always appreciate it.
Right. Well, that's good. So,
Yeah.
but when I watched you at the Underdog, I love the fact that just because you have an amazing voice doesn't mean you need to hear your own voice all the time. I mean, right? There's plenty of singers, and I've worked with a couple of them that just can sing the sing. They can do it all, but they don't know when to shut up. Just, literally. I mean, I speak a lot, I talk a lot, and I admit it. I don't love to hear my own voice at all, so I have to learn to shut up sometimes.
Yeah.
But I know I need to do that. What I loved about watching you was that you gave the space. I'm so excited. What I loved about watching you is that you gave the space for whatever was happening on the stage that didn't need you to be singing.
Yeah.
Like the guitar player did something, you turned to the guitar player and acknowledged the guitar player. Same with the drums, same with the bass player. And then when it was your turn, you did your thing. But you are in a scenario of a group setting.
Yes.
And look, you could be the sun. There's plenty of singers. They're like, I am the sun.
Everything revolves around me.
And I'm going to sing for you now. And it makes me crazy. I'm like, shut up, go away. We don't need you. I mean, come on. All right.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can totally tell.
Yeah, and again, I'm kidding with like making fun of that kind of vibe. But you know what? It's not speaking to me. A lot of people do it for their own ego.
Yeah.
And I get it, right? Mommy and daddy tell you you're amazing your whole life. You're going to get on stage and you don't have to worry about anything in life. You don't have to work at anything in life.
Yep.
You buy a career maybe. You move to Nashville. I mean, there's plenty of people like that.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not throwing shade, but you know what that's
It's out
like.
there. Yes.
It's out there. You seem like a hard-working, blue-collar, singing mother effer.
Come on. Honestly.
And I love it.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah. You can tell when talent is earned. Sometimes it doesn't always come across in that way, but music is a communal act.
Yes.
It's something that we all are experienced together, especially in a live setting. There's that quote that's like, people don't listen to artists to like listen to them. They listen to artists to listen to themselves in a way.
Right. Because you're a mirror. You're an artist.
You are a mirror. Yeah. I'll say that in terms of like my band, there's a gig that I did for a long time at this place in Nashville called Electric Jane.
Yeah. Oh, that was a cool spot.
It is a cool spot.
Is it still there?
It is. Yeah, it's
Okay,
still there.
great.
I think they're more like private stuff now.
Right.
Like membership.
Yes.
We came there and I just sat in with a band one time and then he was like, "Hey, you're pretty dope. But you want to like actually do this like a residency type thing every Friday?"
Yeah.
And so for about a year and a half, we hit that shit like every Friday. And it was never like this performance. It was a performance, but it always felt like, wow, we're really conversating, if that's the word even. We're having a conversation on stage and everyone is informing each other and it's all like really organic and fluid and it's a jam essentially. Even for me as a vocalist, like I could find where my voice sat, not just when I'm singing like actual words, but like melodically where I fit in. And so that's how music is always felt for me. And that's where I feel the most alive in music is when I am a part of the band in a way. And that's not just me as the performer. It is at times, but knowing when to kind of move in and out of that role is, I think, important for vocalists to understand.
Absolutely. I mean, your next record's not going to be called "I'm Here,"
and it's me alone.
No, I really. It's so. How does that make you feel, though? You're a hardworking artist. How are you feeling with all that? Like, are you exacerbated? Are you excited? Obviously, it's both. Mental health is part of this conversation here.
Yeah.
What is it like for you? You're an up and coming artist. You've had some success.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Where is your head at, like right now, as far as just what we just talked about? You're hardworking. There are people that just like glide right through life and like it's sort of given to them, or they just buy it, and they exist. And you're like, wow, you have 5 billboards up in the neighborhood, or, like, wow, I don't have any of this,
Yeah.
And just how does it translate to your life?
That's the cross that every artist has to bear, I think, is
for sure.
because it shouldn't be this way, but I think the way industry naturally works, it is competitive.
Yeah.
Which I think is healthy in some ways. I think we as artists we go to the extremes of things. And so we take competition very literally. And it's like, there's no room for me if you're there, or like, it's almost like things are slipping through our fingers because someone else got them. And I think it is a real act of rebellion against that. And also it's a way of really being in tune with yourself to say, it's not all about me. It's not all about me, meaning that like there's a lot more going on in this world, and so many people are doing so many different cool things, and doors are open at random times for some people, and sometimes they're not open. And it's not just like, I'm the one that has to have this, you know. We fall into a trap of just like getting on this hamster wheel of like of productivity and feeling like if we're not just bashing our heads up against this goal and this vision that we have for ourselves, that if we're not constantly consumed by that, then we are doing it wrong. And I just reject that completely. Like how?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy. I still fall into that pattern of thinking. There's neural pathways that you've beat to death. And there's a groove there, and you're in the middle of that groove, and you have to climb out of it. And how I do that, it varies, you know, from day to day.
Yeah.
But
do you have a routine?
I have routines. I do journal a lot. I have several journals that sort of, serve different purposes. One journal is like where I will write something down, and then I'll give myself time to let the natural thought, almost like the voice within myself, you know, that I don't have any control over or even can claim, but it's like that ephemeral thing that speaks to artists, and so speaks to all humans, really. I paint. I intentionally do things that are the opposite of what I'm wanting to do sometimes.
Wow. You mean like math?
Yeah, my taxes.
Right. So I'm an accountant now also. Good for you. You have a good job. Good.
And also just like, you know, beating my head to death with dopamine, you know, like you have to pull away, and it's addictive. That cycle of like, I've got to, okay, you know, almost like strangling something to death because you want it so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, let go of that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, do something. I always say that one of the easiest ways to get out of this selfish cycle of a mindset is to do something for someone else.
Exactly.
Go volunteer.
Yeah.
Volunteering. Hands on Nashville.
Yes.
Has an entire site and a database that you can go on, literally sign up, and you can find volunteering opportunities in your area. And that just like gets me out of my world.
Yeah.
It makes me think about other people.
Absolutely. Here. I'm into that. The spiritual teacher Ram Dass, who's passed away in 2019, I believe. But one of his sort of mantras, the thing that he sort of put into my mind, and it wasn't even his, so I'm not claiming it for him, but love, serve, and remember. Service to others is what does the same for me, you know, and I literally feel better about everything, my own anxiety, my own depression, and who I am inside of my community, our community, and the world. So that is amazing. Yeah. Service to others is so important. Hands on Nashville is amazing.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Love them.
Yeah. You're a together kind of person.
You know, sometimes.
You've had some success. CBS, you're the voice of CBS Mornings.
Yeah.
This is insane. Gayle King says, a lot of soul in that voice. That was a terrible Gayle King impersonation, but
she said it though.
But you tell us about this. So you sang I Can See Clearly Now.
Yeah.
You won a mixtape music competition.
Yeah.
For CBS. So you're the voice of CBS Mornings.
I am.
What was that like for you? You're crazy how good you are.
Well, yeah, that was such a random opportunity. My friend, he has a real job, quote unquote. Normal. I'll say a normal job, not real. Because what we do is real.
You're darn right.
Just as real.
Yes.
But 9 to 5 since.
Right.
She was watching CBS Mornings, and he saw that they were promoting this competition. And he sent us a picture of took a picture of his TV and was just like, yeah, worth a shot.
Yeah.
And they wanted a rendition specifically, they wanted I Can See Clearly Now.
Right. Well.
And we're like, okay. So, and they're like, wake up in the morning, like, let's get the day started, kick it off. And so we went with our guns and was just like, well, we're soul rock, Americana thing. And so we redid it in that way. And I got my guys together that I normally play with. And I was like, I can't pay you, but I can feed you.
Yeah.
You know, which is always, I'm like, at least feed your people.
Did you go up to New York to the studios to do that?
We did.
You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. It was so dope. They put us up in Times Square twice because with TV, everything is like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's like, oh, did she win? And you know, and I had known that I had won for 3 weeks, you know, and I had to play the game of like, tune in, see if we win. Da, da, da.
Wow.
And yeah.
Tune in. I just got my hair done.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, like we had already filmed the performance of us doing it, and I still had to, you know, tell people like, vote, guys. I just had to play the game. But people still like wanted to vote and wanted to support. But anyway, yeah, it was great. Love New York.
Yeah.
God, I love New York.
Yeah.
Love it so much. One of my favorite memories of just personally for myself in New York, which I don't even smoke cigarettes, but I literally like, I left my group, you know, whatever. Maybe that was a dumb decision, but I was by myself and I was like, I got a cigarette and I don't have a lighter. I need to find somebody with a lighter. So I by myself went out and just like found somebody who I was like, can you light my cigarette? And I finally got it lit and I just walked up and down Times Square by myself with this cigarette, just like so romantic and also dangerous possibly, but like it was still just like I let it all, you know.
Yeah.
I took it all in at that moment and it was just like great. And it was a crazy experience and I'm really grateful for it.
Good for you. You know, I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, and you just romanticized New York City perfectly. That's exactly what it was like on the street. You know, get a lighter. I didn't smoke till I was an adult.
Yeah.
Idiot. And just walking around the city, something that is way older than we are. I mean, it's been there for a long time and there's a lot of history. And just to be able to soak up that vibe and that energy is really great. And the fact that you were present in the moment, and, you know, to really be there.
It was great.
It really is so cool. That is really amazing. Man, congratulations on that. So yeah,
thank you.
You have some awesome success. I also want to talk about the work that you've done with the Postmodern Jukebox.
Yeah.
Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox. These songs are on Spotify and iTunes and all that.
Yep.
But I was enjoying so very much your rendition of Pour Some Sugar on Me. This thing has over like almost 2 million views on what, TikTok?
Yeah, it's crazy. On YouTube,
On YouTube, that's right. Okay, so this stuff is so cool. Tell us a little bit about the Postmodern Jukebox.
Postmodern Jukebox, if you've never heard of it, it's this like, their slogan is today's hits yesterday.
Right.
Kind of crazy. You're like, what? But yeah, they take songs and just reimagine them in this way. And Scott, he's predominantly like a ragtime pianist.
Right.
So good. And he creates all these arrangements for these songs, every one of them, like all every part.
Old timey, man. Real throwback, vintage.
Yes. And some of them really are just knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
Personally, I think mine was one of those that we did knock it out of the park because I do think that, and that wasn't just on me. That was just like the perfect marriage of taking something that's familiar, Pour Some Sugar on Me, and then we did it like Ray Charles, Aretha, and it was so cool. And I've been on tour with them like 3 times at this point, and I've got to tour the world. Yeah, not the world. I have toured the States and a little bit of Canada. Yes, but they tour globally.
You know, to a lot of people in America, that is the world.
That's true.
They're not on this show.
Right, exactly. I love getting to do that. I love that music affords us that opportunity to go see people and places and things that are not in your immediate world. And I think that feeds into your worldview and your compassion for people. Wow. And I have a song now it's not recorded yet, but it's called Tennessee Heart. It's essentially about going out into the world and then coming back home and being like, wow. It's sort of this symbiotic relationship of like, it makes you appreciate the world and where you come from. Yeah. I'm so grateful that music has allowed me to do this.
That's beautiful. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
One other Postmodern Jukebox song that I thankfully just scrolled a little bit more before I came here today was Barracuda by Heart.
Oh my God. That one was crazy. First of all, what a bold choice of a song.
The arrangement was incredibly different.
Yes.
And it was incredible. It was amazing. You did a fantastic job.
Oh, well, thank you.
What was that like for you to sing Barracuda?
Yeah, I mean, talk about our divas of our time.
Ann Wilson.
Yep, Ann Wilson.
Nancy Wilson.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was insane. We wanted to do something different than Pour Some Sugar, and we wanted to do something that was a little more like, I don't know, flowy and but it goes there in the end.
Yes.
It goes crazy in the end.
Right.
They went with the direction of like almost like a James Bond
Yes.
style
Yeah.
video and how it was, and what's crazy is that day, so like I basically have like finger waves
Yeah.
in that video. And the girl who did my hair, she's like, girl, that is not finger waves if she hears this. But it was essentially like that.
Yeah.
And just dramatic makeup. And then I had a gig right after.
Wow.
And it was just like an acoustic duo gig. And I show up like a clown.
No,
at
to the
this place.
nines.
To the nines. And, but I mean, I toned it down a little bit, but I was just like, this is what it is, y'all. But that's showbiz.
That's awesome. So, I think this is really cool because right now, this very, 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 very moment, my wife, Sarah Tomek, the drummer, famous drummer Sarah Tomek, is in the studio making a record with Heart.
Are you serious?
I sent my wife Barracuda, you singing Barracuda with the Postmodern Jukebox. And I said, no pressure,
Oh my God.
they're busy making a record.
Yes.
But I'm going to bother my wife a lot because my wife is going to be touring with Ann Wilson at the latter part of this year. And if all goes well, she'll tour with Heart when Heart tours. And so, we'll see what happens with all that. But I'm in your corner because I'm a big fan of yours. And
Thank you.
I have yet to meet Ann and Nancy Wilson. I met the rest of the band. The nicest people. They're making a fabulous record. I mean, I'm listening to my wife rehearse songs and the music is incredible. So when I saw and heard Barracuda, I thought, wow, this is great. Kismet, right?
Yeah. Synergy in the universe.
Exactly. So that's just so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. People are real passionate and very protective and gatekeeping about Heart and Ann Wilson. They're like, I mean, the comments on that video are wild. And I also did.
Were they negative?
Yeah. They're like, how dare she think, and I'm like, whoa, it's just music, y'all. I mean, I get it.
Right.
It's because it's like that woman is incredible. But
you're not replacing what's been done.
No.
You're honoring.
I'm honoring. Yes, exactly.
You're honoring Ann Wilson and Nancy Wilson.
Yeah.
You're
it's crazy.
honoring Heart. And the other thing about Heart that reminded me of you was that Heart was always a band.
Yes.
Like I'm learning this now because my wife is like learning songs from the 70s and the 80s. I'm like, what are you playing? I mean, she's like, these are songs that aren't the big hits. So for me, it's a deep dive into a catalog.
Right.
And my mind is blown more and more.
Yeah.
And then the stories now that I'm really like kind of peeling back, the onion as it were, just learning about Heart is that they are band people.
Yeah.
Yes, they were the front, Ann and Nancy Wilson, but that band has always been a band.
Yeah.
Just like you. You're a band person.
I am a band person.
Which is really cool. Yeah, I just...
No, I know what you mean by that because it is... It's like Haley Williams of Paramore. Like Paramore's a band.
Yes.
Haley Williams fronting it. Yeah, no, it's actually kind of funny. My drummer that I play with now, one of them, when he first played with me, he didn't realize the dynamic and who was in charge of this, and he don't mind me telling this story. Vince Williams, if you're watching this, and I was like, my left hand is God. That's how I always tell people. I'm like, if I do this, end, bridge. Those are all like band
leading.
signs to the, and I was giving cues and he was like, why are we slowing down? Why are we going down? And I turned around. I was like, and for a while I was like, I'm never working with him again. And it was just so dramatic, but we've worked it back around and now he's one of my favorite people that I play with now. But it is always, I think being a woman, I mean, people are like, oh, you lead.
Right.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, women and everybody, everyone should know what they're doing. If you're a singer, I think you should be leading the band.
Yes.
Of course, you can have an MD, but the vocalist is the forefront. They're the front line.
Yes.
So that makes me get in the mindset of the band and gets me inside the music a little bit more.
That's well put because I love that aspect of a live show.
Yeah.
Because I'm the front person. I'm like a better front person than I'm a singer, right? But and I admit that. I can sing. I'm not a terrible singer.
I didn't mean to agree with you about that. No, I think you're incredible. I think you're awesome.
Thank you. The best compliments that I've ever gotten are from the band members that have thanked me for being so enmeshed in the moment that I was able to, lead the band and direct the band in ways that other people out front don't necessarily know that I'm doing.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And that was the compliment that I love the most. If a drummer or a bass player, anybody in the band, just be like, thanks for leading the band, I mean, like so much. And we're doing this together. And those hand signals and hip shake. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we know James Brown's been doing, he was
Yes.
a master at it. And I've worked with singers that are just amazing singers, but they always have to look to somebody. What am I supposed to do next?
That would terrify me.
What am I
would
supposed to, because
feel,
you wouldn't be in the moment.
Yeah.
You would be taken away from the presence. You'd be
Yes.
taken away from the gift that is the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Just to look at your band lead or your director or somebody that you trust, right? Because,
Yes.
and I get it. We don't all trust ourselves in the moment,
Yeah.
but that's part of the craft.
It is.
You know, so let's get to your music. So you have an EP that came out in 2025, and it's a self-titled EP produced by Jonathan Singleton and Ben Simonetti.
Yep.
And so it was 5-6 songs, right? I listened to it.
5 songs. Yep.
You wrote them all?
Yes, me
Yes.
and my husband, we
Yes.
wrote them all. He's been Adam Gowdy. He's been
Yes.
one of my main collaborators that I've worked with
Yeah.
all these years, and it's because honestly, he was one of the first artists that I ever met. I always say that, but it really is true. In our small town, little Bolivar, Tennessee, it is very musical, but very few people are truly artists and he was writing his own music, and he really, I attribute a lot of who I am as an artist to him. Yeah, we wrote these songs out of a really dark time. His mother-in-law was going through hospice, essentially.
His
at that
mother-in-law,
time.
that's your mother.
I mean,
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm doing the math. I'm like,
Lord, no, my mother-in-law.
his mother.
Yes, his
Yeah.
mother. She was going through a really, she had crazy health issues. Her health was declining, and we were going back and forth, Mississippi to Nashville to be with her during the week, gig on the weekends.
Yeah.
Be with her during the week, gig on the weekends, and lugging his entire studio to Mississippi. And we're trying to write in that. The EP, you won't hear that struggle necessarily, or that pain, I don't think, because I think we were thinking, no, let's get above this a little bit and like just write something that inspires us and makes us feel better and higher in particular.
I was just going to say, it makes you feel a little higher.
Yeah, lifts you up a little bit. That song, that one is the soul of that entire EP. This, as small as it is, it's higher really is about digging yourself up out of the hole that you're in and looking up and reaching beyond yourself, finding something to believe in. I wrote down a long time ago something to believe in, because that's what I want to be for people. Not as like this, icon or like, above anything, but just belief in something to that goodness is available. The last thing I want to be is someone that takes away faith in humanity.
Wow.
I want someone to walk away from me and be like, maybe life isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe the world is a good place, you know?
And Higher is a beautiful song, and I saw a version of it, a Tiny Desk version, where Janelle Means is singing.
Yes.
I love her. She sang in with Them Vibes a few times, with Brother Love, myself. She's a master singer.
And she's booked.
She's an amazing soul. Janelle Means, I love you so very, very much. Do you have faith in humanity? You were saying, like, you wanted your EP to be a little bit higher.
Yes.
You do.
I do have faith in humanity because I know that I have faith in myself, and I know that I am a part of all of this. Yeah. And I know if I'm a part of this, then there are other people out there that are just like me. And there are people out there that are even more and better than me that are offering love and light in their own ways in their communities. And I also have faith in humanity because there are children in the world that have very little notion of what, how we think about things sometimes. I mean, children are just like, they're just children. They offer what they are in their entirety, and they don't really complicate things in the way that we do. Yeah. One of my purposes in life is to offer that as a symbol to keep going and to believe in yourself, and not in this platitude sort of way, but in a way that's like really earned, and because you've done the work. Yeah. And you see yourself in other people. Yeah. And right back at you, you know? That's great. Are you in therapy at all, or do you do anything like spiritually in that way for yourself? Yes, I do. I was in therapy for a while, and then this is like boring, but bullshit insurance changed, and then I lost my therapist, which sucks, which is a whole different conversation. But it's an important conversation. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because therapists are, there's so much trust that you give to someone.
Yeah.
And you do all this work of like building the layout of your entire life so they get the context that you're experiencing life through.
Yeah.
And this woman, Jessica, God, I loved her so much. She got it. And it took a minute, but eventually she was able to really speak effectively into my life. Wow. And then all of a sudden, insurance is like, well, because she's not pursuing a doctorate or whatever, or I can't remember what it was. It was like, yeah, she can't be your therapist anymore. And I was just like, y'all, but she was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, I actually just filled out an intake form.
Good.
to a counseling
Right.
facility where, I can find another therapist, because I do think that's important.
Yeah.
And your friends are not your therapists. Your spouses are not your therapists.
Yeah.
Like, they can offer, a shoulder
Mm-hmm.
to lean on and to cry on.
Yeah.
They can help you out. But therapists have gone to school to protect themselves,
Yeah.
if anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to then offer you. So anyway, yeah. And I just love, there's another podcast that I listen to called Back from the Borderline.
Mm-hmm.
And her whole thing is where the system meets the soul.
Yeah.
So she talks about the medical model that we have in our world and how that applies to mental health. And she also dabbles in some esoteric stuff. And I really love all that. I really try to just be in tune with my body and what I need at the moment. And that's all I can really offer myself, and that's about being present and being open.
Wonderful. Well, there's all these great resources: Music Cares, Echo Live, Onsite Foundation, Music Health Alliance. And I know some people at each of these places. I'd be happy to introduce you or anybody out there. Therapy, to me, it's saving my life every week.
Yes.
It's a blessing that I get to go to therapy. And thank you for being honest about it. We used to not talk about these things. We don't talk about therapy the way we don't talk about cancer, or
yes.
or sex. But we're talking about these things because they're important. And you are expressing the whole Kyndle Wylde, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So coming up, new music, you got shows coming up. I know you're doing something very cool next year, but what about new music? Tell us about it.
So right now, new music, I am going to be spending the rest of the year writing and recording mainly demos. I'm trying to give myself the space and the time to let the music come to me and let the stories. It's still my life, but at the end of the day, music is storytelling. Yeah. And I want to be honest about where I'm at right now. And so for the rest of the year, I'll be writing and recording demos. Hopefully by January, February, I'll be actually tracking. Yeah. I applied for a grant with Salt Lick. Yeah. Actually.
That's great.
They're like $5,000 to $15,000. And I was like, what about right here? And but I had to give out this whole business plan and everything, and which really helped me contextualize like what I actually want, how I can do this, what are some goals, some checkpoints to help me know that I'm reaching those goals.
Good for you.
It's great. And
because I write things on a little piece of paper, and then I have 5 billion little pieces of paper with chicken scratch on it. Then I find them like 5 years later. I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to do that.
Oh yeah,
that song, and then that time, and I was going to call them, and I don't do any of it because I don't have the ability. I didn't have the ability to work it out, and have a plan. Yeah, and have boundaries and a plan.
Yeah, I know.
So cool.
Balance out the left-right brain.
Yes. Well, we can't wait for new music. You entered a few contests, okay? So let's talk about the first one.
Yes.
Music City Mayhem. I work for Lightning 100.
Yes.
You did really well at Music City Mayhem. Them Vibes, we've lost it a couple of times over the years. Oh, yeah. We lose every contest, and then we said we're not doing any more contests.
I mean...
Until the Sixth Man contest, which is something we have in common.
Y'all won?
We won.
Oh my God.
So you won.
Yes.
You're going to be on, what is it, the Rock Boat?
The Rock Boat.
For Sixth Man Cruises next year. Yep. You won. You were the...
Yeah, there's three. There's 3 bands, 3 acts that get to go through.
Fans vote, right? Because the Rock the Boat, these boats, these cruise ships, every year they happen. They have a lot of the same faces, a lot of the same people. Yep. We won the Train, Sail Across the Sun.
Oh.
So it was Train, the band Train, and it was, the people that are on the boat, they get to vote for an unsigned or whatever, an up-and-coming act that they didn't know about. Yeah. Them Vibes. we actually got to be on that cruise, and it was amazing.
That's awesome.
And congratulations. So you, Kyndle Wylde, you won the contest. When are you going to be cruising, man? Tell the folks.
I will be cruising on February 2nd through the 7th of next year, 2027. I'm so excited about that. First of all, Switchfoot will be on that boat.
Yep.
My upbringing, anybody that grew up in that time period, early 2000s, youth group culture.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And Walk the Moon will be there. It's hosted by Sister Hazel.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
Congratulations.
Seriously.
That's really cool. Especially because you get to do that in February. That's the best part about these cruises. We did the same thing. In fact, our cruise was right like 2 weeks before COVID hit.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on the cruise ship.
You got in.
We were on our boat and we were like in our room. There's like a little closed circuit TV that has like BBC News.
Yeah.
And it's like the smallest thing. And you're not supposed to be watching TV in your cabin anyway.
Right.
But like, because you're out having fun.
Yeah.
Out playing music.
Exactly.
I remember looking at the TV and there was a cruise that was sitting outside of the port of Japan. And it was like, there's a boat that's been quarantined outside of Japan. And
no.
Nobody knows what's going on, but a lot of people are sick and they're not sure. And this is 2020.
Yeah.
This is February, the end of
no
February.
idea.
And I remember looking at that and going, it's over there.
Yeah, that's crazy. We all thought that.
We all came home. Then there was COVID.
Yeah.
So that was insane.
Jeez.
So you're touring next year as well. You got some plans?
I do have some plans.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is I played a few concert series this year.
Yeah.
I played in Hamilton, Ohio. Huge shout out to them.
Yeah.
Artists, go to Hamilton, Ohio. Those people love music. They're so supportive. My goal is to play 10 more events like that, like some songwriting festivals, some festivals in general.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all, I'm going to do this all myself. I have my Jordan Berger, who is my booking agent right now. It's him, me, and Adam, really, that are making all this happen. So it's sort of like whatever I can make happen is what I'm gonna do,
Yeah, of course. Well, you're doing great.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I have a speed round of questions.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Serious stuff.
I love
it. What fascinates you, Kyndle Wylde?
What fascinates me is the resilience of the human spirit. The fact that we can just get up and keep going despite what the world tells us and it beats us down. It's just like we just do it, and sometimes we don't do it great, we do it imperfectly, and we may hurt ourselves in the process, but we still keep going. That's mind-boggling to me.
I'm ready to join the Church of Kyndle Wylde. The spirit is in your family. That positive spirit. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Kudos to your family.
Yeah.
Please give them a hug and send them my love.
I will.
Yeah, and give them. Let me get their phone number in case I need to be positivity.
Gotcha.
What angers you, Kyndle Wylde? What pisses you off?
What pisses me off is people who back up into parking spots.
You and Grimy. You know who Grimy is?
Yes.
The owner, right? Mike Grimes of Grimey's of the Basement East. He's notorious for posting his anger and ire at folks who back into parking spaces.
I'm like, what are you going to do with all that extra time that you supposedly have? I get a big truck.
Right.
I get a big truck.
Yeah.
There's lots of things actually that I could be more angry that are like worth being angry about. But something funny that I think about is just people who back into parking spots. I'm just like, okay,
right,
there they go.
Yeah. All right. What brings you joy?
What brings me joy is when Adam, my husband, says, "Do you want to go to McKay's bookstore?"
Wow.
Or if he's like, "You want to go to Parnassus bookstore?" Actually, that's when I'm like, I get really excited about going to Parnassus bookstore. I love to read.
Yeah.
I love getting a new book. That's one of the cool things about traveling is going to all these indie bookstores around town.
Yeah.
And then I get their bookmark and I know where I got it.
Yeah.
That brings me joy.
That's great.
Just reading in bookshops.
That's so cool. I had the pleasure of interviewing Zoe Glassman, who's the owner of a place called Shook About Books.
Oh, wow.
In East Nashville. Riverside Village. She had a little truck that she had roving around town, going to different festivals or flea markets, the gay flea market on the east side.
Yeah.
She's there all the time. She was explaining that the book's journey is so incredible. You're one of the people, because you're a touring artist, that'll take a book from Nashville
Yes.
that maybe came from Albany, New York somehow.
Oh my God.
And it'll end up in Seattle.
Yes.
Like the journey of a book is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So the books have come up in this conversation more and more now.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are in a digital age and AI and we're all worried about, losing our humanity.
Yeah.
Go back to the book.
Go back to the book.
That's
They've
right.
always been there.
They've always been there. That's great. If you had a magic wand and you could change or fix anything to your liking, what would it be?
These are all like, because there's obviously the.
Oh, you can do it.
You could
Sure.
really go there.
You could be petty or world peace. Either way, I'm not
petty
judging.
or world peace.
I'm not judging. Yeah.
Clearly, I have issues with drivers. I would take away entitled driving immediately. Everyone would just back off the ledge a little bit with driving.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, if you see a blinker, you're going to let someone over.
Yeah.
Let's just all realize we're all here together and that we all are trying to get somewhere, And I think, in a way, that is a world peace answer.
That's
because it is about compassion and about opening ourselves up to other realities other than our own.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And not everybody's trying to get somewhere.
Not everyone's trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I really check myself when I see an older person driving.
God.
And I'm like,
Is that the worst? 'Cause
yes.
I have a big pet peeve when I'm signing off the radio or this show. I say, use your turn signal. We're not alone out there. And I get so angry when people aren't using their turn signal and I'm screaming at this person in front of me and I get right next to him and it's like Grandma Moses. She's 188 years old and I'm like, oh my gosh,
The fact
so
that
sorry.
she's even here is a miracle.
Right. You shouldn't be driving, by the way.
Right.
But the fact that you are.
But the fact that you are.
It's okay. Just get in the right lane.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have this in common. Now, here's the big question. Toilet paper over the roll or under the roll?
Over the roll.
Thank you, Kyndle Wylde.
Always.
Yeah, that's right. You know why? Because you're a sane human being. Kyndle Wylde, ladies and gentlemen, where do we find you? Let's get in touch with you. You're a phenomenal singer and songwriter and a wonderful person. I'm so glad to know you. How do we find you and support you?
Yes, you can find me at Kyndle Wylde, KYNDLEWYLDE. And then my website is KyndleWyldemusic.com. You can sign up for my newsletter and keep up with me.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
You are a rock star. You are a sweet human being. You can sing to the stars and back. And man, we are going to be looking out for you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank
really.
you.
And thank you for your honesty. Kyndle Wylde, ladies and gentlemen, on the Just Keep Talking podcast. My name is Brother Love. Use your turn signal because we're not alone. Until next time, folks. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
You can personally support this show simply by clicking the tip link in the show notes. The Just Keep Talking podcast is now available on all podcast platforms. Please like, share, and subscribe. Visit our website at justkeeptalking.com, our YouTube channel at Just Keep Talking Podcast, and Instagram at The Just Keep Talking Podcast. We all just want to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. Thank you so much for supporting my mission and the Just Keep Talking Podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters.